I'm going to tell you about a case. The kind that doesn't close. Chiang Mai, March 2019. A man checks into a hotel. Room 402, 4th floor. He locks the door. And then, he's gone. They find his clothes folded on the bed. His phone, still charging. Passport open to his photo. Everything is exactly where he left it. The laptop was still on, battery at 67%. One tab open in the browser, a website. One I had never heard of. Bangkok police called it a missing person. But missing persons leave something behind. A trail, a reason, a body. This one left everything. And nothing. Not to this day. There's a particular quality that some field reports have. A wrongness that settles into the back of your mind like sediment. The website looked normal. Dark background, a waveform logo. A connect button. At the bottom of the page, 11 rules. Community guidelines, standard stuff. Except, nobody had ever heard of this website. Not Google, not our databases. Not anywhere. I pulled up the site on my own machine. Air-gapped, secure. It loaded, like it was waiting. I've been doing this 15 years. Some cases you close. Some cases close you. Here is what I can't get past. Has not let go. The room was on the 4th floor. The door bolted from the inside. No balcony. No fire escape. One way in. One way out. CCTV in the hallway. One camera. It shows him entering. 4:12 p.m. The camera never stops recording. Nothing blocks the lens. He never comes out. 11 hours later, housekeeping opens the door. The room is empty. And the door is still bolted. From the inside. I remember setting down my pen. I remember the radiator clicking. I remember looking at the crime scene photographs spread across my desk and feeling, not fear exactly, but something adjacent. A low-grade unease. The kind you feel when you're reading a sentence that seems grammatically correct until you reach the period and realize you have no idea what it said. The laptop was what bothered me. The subject's browser had been opened to a single tab. A website called murmur.chat. I pulled it up on my own machine, a secure terminal, air-gapped, the way we do everything in the archives. The site loaded without issue. It looked normal. That was the first thing that gave me pause. Normal things don't survive on the internet without leaving traces. I checked our internal registry. Nothing. I checked the major search indices. Nothing. I checked the Wayback Machine. Nothing. Murmur.chat existed, and it had never been seen before. The landing page was clean, minimalist, dark charcoal background, pale gray text, a simple waveform logo that pulsed gently as if the site itself were breathing. At the very bottom, in text nearly invisible, please review the community guidelines before participating. There are 11 rules. I opened a new notebook. I always open a new notebook when I start a case. I wrote the date. I wrote the case number. I wrote murmur and underlined it twice. Then I started reading. Rules 1 and 2 were standard. Be respectful to other users. Do not share your real name, location, or identifying details. The kind of thing you'd see on any chat platform's terms of service and immediately click past. Rule 3 was where it started to come apart. Do not type the word alone in any conversation. The moderation system flags this word automatically. The reason is not explained in this document. Users who have typed this word report that the reason becomes clear shortly thereafter. I pulled up the page source. Rules 1 and 2. Clean HTML, standard markup. Rule 3's element had been injected through a script that wasn't part of the original page structure. Someone or something had added it after the site was built. I made a note in the margin. Rule 3 is not from the original site authors. Rule 4 was worse. If the site asks you to verify your identity by uploading a photograph, close the tab immediately. Murmur.chat does not require photo verification. We do not know what is generating these prompts. It will use your image for purposes we cannot disclose. The field operative assigned to the Murmur case was young, late 20s, Southeast Asia desk. Good record, methodical. He registered a test account 4 days after the laptop was recovered. On day 4, he sent an audio log to the archives. Not a written report, an audio recording. That was unusual.
AQ. I don't know what you're calling this. Murmur investigation, day 4. I registered a test account, alias, burner email, VPN routed through 3 countries. This afternoon I opened my laptop, and the site was already open. I hadn't opened it. Browser history says it was accessed at 3:17 a.m. I was asleep. The laptop was in the other room. Someone sent me a chat message this afternoon. Not a user, the system, the welcome bot. Except the welcome bot only sends one message at registration. I've been registered for 4 days. The message said, "We notice you haven't been sleeping. Don't worry, the site works better when you're awake. We'll be here when you come back."
Rules 5 through 7 didn't get easier. Rule 5. If a chat partner says they can see your reflection in their screen, end the call immediately. You are not using a camera. If you are using the camera, the reflection they are describing does not match your current position in the room. Rule 6. Individuals claiming moderator status have been reported since the site's earliest days. We have never employed moderators. We do not know who they are or what happens to users who comply with their requests. We have not been able to reach those users for comment. Rule 7. If your chat partner freezes mid-sentence and their video loops exactly 3 times, close the browser within 10 seconds. Count the loops carefully. On the 4th loop, the person in the video will no longer be your chat partner. We cannot confirm what they become. The rule was asking you to sit there, watching a frozen screen, counting loops, knowing that if you miscounted, something would replace your chat partner. Something that would then follow you through every future session. The missing person had kept a personal notebook. Almost every page was about Murmur.chat. He had sketched the interface by hand, the waveform logo, the dark charcoal background. His handwriting started neat, almost architectural. By the later pages it had deteriorated. Letters tilting, spacing collapsing, words overlapping words. On page 32, he had crossed out a line so hard the paper had torn. Our forensics unit recovered the original text. Rule 8 describes something that is already in the room with you. The site is not the threat, the site is the door. Something is knocking from the other side. Rule 8. If your partner's voice continues after their mouth stops moving, the delay is not technical. The audio you are hearing is not traveling through our servers. It is originating from a source physically closer to you than your device's network card. If you hear breathing after you have muted your own microphone, the breathing is not yours. Leave the room. Do not return for a minimum of 1 hour. If you hear footsteps as you leave, do not run. It responds to acceleration. Rule 9. If someone says you should get some rest, agree, close the browser, and leave the room. This is not a suggestion. The phrase is a code used by users who can see something in your video feed that you cannot see. If your own voice says the words back to you from your speakers, you have already stayed too long. Close your eyes. Count to 60. Do not look at the screen. Do not look at any reflective surface in the room. Walk to the door without running. It responds to acceleration. The second audio log arrived on March 19th. The file was labeled voice_052.wav. Someone had added a handwritten note. Final recording. The operative's voice was different this time.
I'm requesting extraction. Officially. The "you should get some rest" message. I got it. 3 different chat partners. Same words. Same timing. Always at the 14-minute mark. I thought it was a glitch. Then yesterday I saw it in my own video thumbnail. Standing behind me. I turned around. Nothing was there. I looked back at the screen. It was closer. Rule 10 says, if you see a second instance of yourself in someone else's video, a figure with your face, standing behind them, do not react. Say the code phrase, "You should get some rest," then disconnect. It has been following users since version 1.0. It's a food chain. We're all passing it to the next person. The person who said it to me, they were passing it to me. I passed it to 3 people. I didn't know. It's outside my door. I can hear it breathing. It sounds like me breathing. It...
Three seconds of silence. The metadata says the recorder continued recording. There was no sound to capture. Or perhaps there was a sound and the recorder chose not to store it. Some sounds are not meant to be replayed. The field operative ceased contact on March 17, 2019. A recovery team was dispatched to his last known location, a hotel in Yangon, not unlike the one in Chiang Mai. They found his laptop on the desk. Screen on, 1 tab open. They did not find him. I closed the case file at 3 in the morning. The coffee had gone cold again. The operative's laptop is in our evidence locker. The screen is still on. We have tried to turn it off. It turns itself back on. When it does, the murmur.chat landing page loads. The waveform logo pulses. The connect button waits. I am not telling you not to visit murmur.chat, but if someone reaches out to you claiming to be from the archives, that is not one of ours. We never initiate contact. Close the browser within 10 seconds. Count carefully. I don't know what Rule 11 says. The laptop recovered from Chiang Mai. The page footer only displayed rules 1 through 10. I ran every forensic tool we have. Nothing. 10 rules, clearly enumerated, with a blank space where the 11th should be. Perhaps Rule 11 was never written. Perhaps the 11th rule is the one you are following right now, simply by reading these words. Some rules don't need to be written down. Some rules are the room you're already standing in.